I am going to tell you the 4 biggest things you need to grow your channel in 2025. Hi, my name is John Flimflam, and I am a very successful YouTuber. I've helped over 6 channels reach 100k subscribers, and now I want to pass my lessons along to you. For free, with absolutely no financial incentive to do so. If you're trying to grow your channel, then this might just be the most important video you watch all year. So let's not waste any time, let's get to the good stuff. Step 1, this is a super important step, you're not going to want to ignore this, you're going to have to make a pact with Satan. Now Satan is going to want your soul in exchange, and I know that sounds really scary, but think about it. What do you actually need a soul for? True love, enjoying jazz music, basic human empathy, are those things really more important to you than success on YouTube? Because if they are, then maybe you're not that serious about doing this. So I've been struggling with the YouTube numbers recently, my channel's feeling kind of stagnant, and I'm not really getting the growth I need to sustain things. It's rough. And when things are like this, when you're stuck, the first step is to go online and figure out what you're doing wrong. What you need is a tutorial. Luckily, there's tons of YouTube tutorials right here on YouTube. Let's watch one, shall we? One of my top results for how to grow your channel is this video by a guy called Marcus Jones. How to grow a YouTube channel from 0 subs in 2025, brackets complete guide, close brackets. It's got over 600,000 views, Marcus himself has over 400,000 subscribers. This must be good, let's give it a watch right now. Alright, welcome to the first episode of my new pivot. This is Kyle Reacts Now, because as we all know, the real secret to success on this platform is not working really hard, doing lots of writing and research and editing and recording. No, that's all for suckers. What you really need to do is turn on a webcam and watch someone else who's already done all that shit. Let's not be cynical here. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to improve. I'm ready to grow as a creative. So show me what you got, Marcus Jones.
Small channels. If you're not getting views, there are 6 things you need to do.
6 things.
I know,
okay.
because
Actually,
when
this
I
audio's
first
a little bit
started,
loud.
I posted 65 different, and this might sound arrogant, but from the thousands of people I've worked with and multiple channels I've had, I've never come across a channel that's doing all 6 of these things, yet isn't getting at least a couple million views. So
okay, that's a very definitive statement right there. He's never seen any channel that's doing all 6 of these things that isn't getting over 1 million views. So that's like a pretty concrete claim, I would say. So let's see which one of these I'm not doing. Let's figure this out. In this video, Marcus lays out the 6 most important things to grow your channel. Unfortunately, he also waffles on for about half an hour and says a bunch of redundant nonsense but hides it behind fancy editing. So I'm going to do some actual editing for him. Number 6 is upload videos frequently. That's right, it is silly advice.
if we use both our common sense and look at the objective data here, clearly creating videos frequently is a very significant and important step to growing a new YouTube channel. And that's why it's the 6th most important step in this method. On top of helping...
Okay, so step 6 on this program is upload videos frequently. Or more or less what he was saying in that whole big spiel was make lots of videos and you'll get better at making videos. He could have just said practice makes perfect. That's all he's actually saying there, but okay. Like most of this video, this is not wrong or misleading advice, but it is very basic advice and advice which I am objectively following already. I don't have a consistent upload schedule, but I have been uploading at least one video every 2 weeks for the last 2 years, which is the minimum that Marcus gives that you should be aiming for. So obviously, this alone is not the key to millions of views. Marcus's argument is twofold. One is that the more videos you make, the better at making videos you will become, which is true, but it's also basic. Practice makes perfect, as I said. The second point he makes is that the more videos you upload, the more chances one of those videos has of being picked up by the algorithm.
So if you post, say, 1 video a month, by the end of a year, you will have 12 videos, i.e. 12 opportunities to be discovered. If you post 2 videos a week,
he's going to do all the math.
You'll have 104 opportunities to be discovered, which is a hell of a lot more than 12.
This is true, but it's also a massive, massive obfuscation of scale. Uploading 104 videos in a year will objectively increase your chances of being picked up by the algorithm than uploading 12 videos a year. But, according to recent statistics, an average of 2.4 million videos are uploaded to YouTube every single day. So when you talk about increasing your chances, you're increasing your chances by a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. And YouTube's algorithm doesn't just pit you against other videos that came out that day, it pits you against every single video that's ever been uploaded to YouTube, which is about 4 billion and growing every day. So this idea that uploading frequently increases your chances in the algorithm is technically, statistically, true. But it's true in the same way that buying 1,000 lottery tickets increases your chances of winning the lottery. It does, but you're moving from a 99.9% chance of losing to a 99.8999999999999% chance of losing. You're still going to lose. YouTube's algorithm's a lot more complicated than the lottery. There's more to consider here, like viewer retention or related videos, etc, etc. But even then, the statistical difference between 12 and 104 is minuscule on the scales we're talking about here. But whatever, maybe Marcus understands statistics better than I do. I certainly wouldn't rule it out. Besides, I'm already following his advice, I do upload videos frequently. So let's just move on to point 5. Cultivate impactful X factors.
Do you have a unique standout quality or combination of qualities that give viewers a reason to choose you over watching one of your competitors? Now, if not, that's okay. You're just like me when I first started. But that's probably one of the reasons why you're not getting as many views or loyal followers as you would like. Now,
Okay, so point 5 is have reasons that people should watch you. Duh! Once again, this is not terrible or wrong advice, it's just extremely basic advice. Be unique is one of the most basic backbones of marketing. You can't enter a marketing meeting for 5 minutes without hearing about a USP or a unique selling point. What makes your brand unique? What makes people want to eat your crackers over everyone else's crackers? Learning to identify your own USPs is a bit of a process because when most people start out, they're probably just copying other creators that they like. It takes some time to figure out your own process and your own style. That's what the first point was about, right? Now, I'm pretty certain I know my own X factors, but just to be certain, I asked some of my audience members a few days ago. See, I wasn't just trying to stroke my own ego, I had a purpose. My own personal X factors, as evaluated by the people who watch my videos, are as follows. Number 1, the depth of my analysis. People appreciate the amount of research I do, and I'm able to explain things in a way that people understand my perspective. Number 2, I'm balanced. A couple comments mentioned that I don't really make fun of things. I treat everything I critique from a fair perspective and point out its flaws and its highlights without getting mean. Number 3, I don't shy away from politics. A lot of media criticism can be kind of surface level, and I try to have a more intersectional analysis. On the same front, I'm also quite progressive and open-minded, which makes some people, particularly marginalised people, feel more comfortable with my content. Number 4, I'm funny. I'll take your word for it. Number 5, good white boy swagger. I don't have anything to add to this one, it really tickled me and it'll live with me forever now. There you go, I have X factors. Don't take it from me, take it from yourselves. Because you're still here watching the video, so I must be doing something right. I don't have anything else to expand on at this point because, well, it's really obvious. Have a reason that people should watch your videos. Duh.
Obviously, just putting out frequent videos and having X factors isn't going to be enough to be highly successful on YouTube, though. And so that brings us to the next point on the method. See,
obviously not. So that's why I started with them and took up the first 10 minutes of the video talking about them. Wonderful. Number 4 on Marcus's list is be consistent to train the algorithm. And if there's anything on this list that could be used as a gotcha on me, it's probably this one. I do tend to follow my interest in what I cover rather than sticking to one particular niche. For example, this very video. This is kind of outside the scope of what I usually do. So, things to keep consistent. Tone, done. Branding, done. Production style, done. I edit all my videos exactly the same. Morals, values, I'm so moral. I have so much values. Topics. Okay, I have a tendency to bounce between games, movies, shows, and general pop culture commentary. I would say the majority of my focus is games, but I do branch out sometimes. I could certainly be more consistent, but I do think my videos have enough overlap to not be completely inconsistent. Marcus talks about a litmus test. Would the viewers of this video be interested in watching all the other videos on your channel? And I think the answer is yes. In fact, you should go do that when this video is done. The example he gives is about switching from an unscripted rant about capitalism to a highly produced essay about bootstrapping to a Minecraft Let's Play, and I'm not nearly that inconsistent. Even if the topics are different, the genre of video is usually the same. These guys, including Marcus, all love Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast's topics range pretty wildly, so I think by the Mr. Beast scale I'm in the clear. This is, once again, not terrible advice, but not terribly helpful advice either. Anyone who is serious about doing this is serious about it because they have something that they really want to make, and so they're probably going to be consistently making that thing.
While consistency, at least the way I've explained it, I think is very, very important, we need to go to do something else, the next point, which is something you've probably heard a million people say.
Make a cool video and
Make better videos.
Make better videos.
everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible.
Create great content. But
Create great content. No shit. Now, to be fair to Marcus, he is talking about a specific thing here. He's talking about viewer retention, which is a statistic that YouTube tracks for how long people actually watch the video for. His argument is that you want high viewer retention because that means people are actually watching the video and not just clicking away. Which is, once again, not terrible advice, just obvious advice. First of all, my graphs look the same as Marcus's graphs. This is a pretty typical graph for the sort of long-form content that I do. Most people decide they're not going to watch within the first 2 minutes, and then the rest of the graph is a flat line, averaging between 20 and 30%. Obviously, I would like a higher percentage than that, but that's the reality of YouTube. Most people decide they're not going to watch a video within the first 5 seconds of clicking on it. YouTube even has a little note that says 50% after the first 30 seconds is typical, and it's really impressed with you if you get up to 60%. But this is a point that I want to elaborate on, because like a lot of statistics on YouTube, it's a whole lot of numbers that doesn't tell you as much as people think it does. There are certainly use cases, like a massive drop-off at a certain point probably means you have like a terrible take there, or the audio quality drops, or whatever, but in general, these retention graphs are not actually that useful. It's mostly just a showcase of how many people actually watch the video compared to the view counter. But low viewer retention isn't always a bad thing. For example, this 6-hour critique of Borderlands has pretty bad viewer retention, at like 8%. But it also has 5 times as many watch hours than most of my other videos, because it's 6 hours long and those 8% of people who commit to watching it are watching the entire video. That means, even though it has less retention, each individual view is more valuable than it might be on a shorter video with better retention. Now, what does the algorithm prefer? Higher watch time or higher view retention? I have no idea, and neither does Marcus. Nobody does because YouTube deliberately doesn't tell us. I can say that this video with bad retention and more watch hours has more views than this video with good retention and bad watch hours, but does that mean anything? Who knows? This is one of the things that annoys me so much about YouTube gurus. It's the way that they make definitive statements about things that they cannot possibly have a definitive answer for.
But if you just focus on these 3, this will get you to the point that your content will be good enough to start getting tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands.
Again, an extremely bold claim to make, that like focusing on viewer retention will get you hundreds of thousands of views. That's such like an excessive thing to just say. Like, and it annoys me that he just says that. Because it's demonstrably untrue, and it's giving people this false idea, and it's that you can just like work on stuff and suddenly it'll work. It really pisses me off. I'm gonna rush through these last 2 because you've probably already guessed what they are by now, but number 2 is create attention-grabbing packaging, which is to say, have a really good title and thumbnail. Not terrible advice, obvious advice. And number 1, the most important thing to growing your channel, develop interesting ideas.
You could have the best thumbnail designer, best editor, everything perfect, but you'll fail if you have an uninteresting video idea, which is the final, most important.
Number 1, develop interesting video ideas. And I feel like I'm just going to say this one last time. No shit! And I know what you're thinking. Isn't that the same as making great videos? And the answer is no, it's different. And to be fair, I guess there is a definitional difference between great and interesting. A video can be well made and engaging without being on an interesting topic. But I mean, come on, who's coming to this tutorial and getting to this point and thinking, oh, I never thought about making interesting videos? Just to recap this for you, the 6 steps to getting millions of views on YouTube. Remember, that's what Mark has said, that he's never seen anyone doing all 6 of these steps that isn't getting millions of views. Are upload frequently, have reasons people should watch you, be consistent, make great videos, have good titles and thumbnails, and have great ideas. Sorted! A tutorial where I don't have to do anything. My favourite kind of tutorial. Here come those millions of views. Any day now. Any day now. Any day. I don't want to be too dismissive here, because there is some advice in Mark's video that might be useful if you are a genuine beginner doing this. Like the idea that a thumbnail and a title should collaborate and not contain redundant information. That is an interesting tip that a beginner might not think about. As I've stated repeatedly, none of this advice is actually wrong. Frequent videos is a good idea. Being consistent is a good idea. Having good titles and thumbnails is a good idea. But if advice this basic actually got you millions of views, then we'd all have millions of views. Alright, so once you've sold your soul to the devil, you're gonna feel a big rush of unholy power. Hold on to that. It can be super tempting to blow all that power by buying lottery tickets or whatever, but you need to stay focused on your channel. Because step 2, this is the most important step, you have to make great content. What do I mean by that? Because I know it seems kind of obvious. Well, what I mean is, you have to make content for and about the great old ones. We're talking Gabageg, we're talking Julkshab, and of course, we're talking the big man himself, Cthulhu. Now, normally mortals are unable to reach out to the great old ones, but you don't have a soul anymore, which gives you a whole new audience and a whole new niche to go after. And the great old ones have so much potential as an audience because they can actually manipulate the minds of lesser beings and get more people to watch your channel. I cannot stress enough, do not overlook the great old ones as a resource. This is the most important step to success on YouTube. There is an underlying predatory aspect to YouTube gurus. And to be clear, this isn't a Marcus Jones response video, I just picked him because he was the first guy that came up. But if you go on any of these videos, you will hear the exact same things.
First, you want to upload videos frequently.
The second thing to create structure around is your posting schedule.
You need to cultivate impactful X factors.
It's useful to figure out, like, what is the thing I want to be known for? What is the word? What is the phrase?
Be consistent.
And the easiest way to help it find those people is for every single one of your videos to be super valuable for the same audience profile.
Create great content.
We make it so that your content is the best content that it can be.
You also want to create attention-grabbing packaging.
For example, maybe you've researched your competition and found out that no one is making really high-quality thumbnails.
And last but not least, you need to become a master of developing highly interesting video ideas.
The idea is pretty much everything on YouTube. And I call this like the hot dog method.
Nobody teaches this. Sure they don't, mate. What I think we should break down here is 2 different kinds of advice that these channels are giving. I'll call them craft advice and game advice. Craft advice is stuff that I would consider to be helpful but basic advice. Things that are actually designed to help you make better videos. Getting a better microphone, figuring out your subject matter, practice makes perfect, all that stuff, that's craft advice. Game advice is the stuff that these folks recommend to improve your numbers, to get more views, to game the system. Things like upload schedules, maximizing keywords, being consistent to train the algorithm, these are game advice. Things designed not to increase the quality of your videos, but to increase your chances of getting picked up by the algorithm. Craft advice and game advice are fundamentally different, but these folks will present them in the exact same way, suggesting that they are the same, when in reality game advice is speculative garbage. The YouTube algorithm is a confusing and complicated beast. Nobody knows for sure how it works, and that's intentional. YouTube keeps it that way on purpose. Whenever any of these guys suggest something that will increase your chances of getting picked up, they are at best making an educated guess, and at worst just fully making shit up.
So when you upload a video, YouTube doesn't just want to show that video to random people. Instead, from my experience, I believe your videos go through what I like to call a 4-phase learning process. In the first phase, which happens in the first 24 to 48 hours, YouTube shows your videos to a small test audience.
This is utter bollocks. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that the algorithm works in phases. In fact, based on my personal experience, I would suggest evidence to the contrary. Any videos that I've had that have been successful within the first 48 hours. But it sure sounds convincing, doesn't it? Mr. Make Money talks with confidence and authority, and look at all these fancy graphics. Would he really make all these fancy graphics if he was talking utter shite? This is the trick, and they all do it. Not always as obviously as this, but they're all selling speculation as fact. Just a couple other random examples you'll hear many times if you've watched as many of these videos as I have. Seriously, my homepage is a wasteland now. The name of your file can affect search engine optimization.
Now, what me and a lot of top YouTubers tend to do is they name the file name the exact same of what the title is going to be for the video, or at least as closely as possible. As you can see here, you can literally see the entire file name, which means its data is being stored and used by YouTube.
Hey, Dan. No, it doesn't. This theory has been around for like a decade now, but it's completely unprovable because how could you even test for something like this? And more importantly, why would YouTube do that? Why would YouTube incorporate the file name when the name that you give it is the publicly available one that shows up in all the searches? It would be completely redundant. In this video, our guru is arguing for a strategy where you wait a month and then upload 3 videos all on the exact same day. Why?
Next reason why this technique works so well. YouTube likes to have recent data to pull from, recent stuff that's being published, content that's being published on your channel. When you upload a video and you select an end screen and you choose the option that is best for viewer, most of the time the algorithm picks your most recent video.
This is a classic case of equating correlation with causation, the sort of basic mistake that'll get you kicked out of science school. The birds migrate when the weather changes, therefore birds control the weather. The YouTube algorithm has a tendency to recommend recent videos, therefore the YouTube algorithm likes recent videos. The algorithm does not like anything. The algorithm is not alive. The only thing the algorithm likes is keeping people on YouTube. Do recent videos keep people on the platform for longer? Maybe. I don't fucking know, and neither does Nate Black. He's just making a guess based on general trends. And even if his technique looks like it worked, there's no way to prove that it actually worked because of his technique or if that was just a pure fluke. Because correlation does not equal causation, and we're not in a lab and we don't have a control group. This is all just vibes.
Let's say you're making videos for a game that was released 10 years ago and is basically dead. There are no players of this game. If you made a video on it, chances are you're not going to get views because the demand for that video, the amount of people who want to watch it, is so minuscule.
Oh, that's right, Marcus. We're not quite done with you yet. This is during his great ideas section, and it's a pithy truism that doesn't actually hold up to scrutiny. Retro gaming channels are massive, or you have folks like Mandalore Gaming who've made a career talking about games that no one's thought about or heard of in 20 years. Even myself. I recently covered all of the Assassin's Creed games in a series of retrospectives, and the most popular video in that series was Assassin's Creed 3. Not the most recent one, not the one everyone's currently playing, but clearly the most interesting one even though it's 13 years old. And I could list just so many more examples of this, but I think you get my point. They are stating speculation as fact and presenting it in a professional-looking way to seem credible. But it's a little more pernicious than even that, because within the framing of these tutorials, the craft advice is also being presented as game advice. Like Marcus said, if you focus on great content, then you'll start getting hundreds of thousands of views. This is just as much speculation as everything else. The idea that the better videos rise to the top of the chart is just provably incorrect. The advice is better, but the idea that it will help your channel grow is equally as nebulous as the idea that the MP4 file name will make a difference. It's an unprovable statement. There's also the fact that if you watch enough of these videos, you'll start to hear a lot of contradictory information. In fact, there's a very funny trend in the last year or so of these channels making videos about how YouTube gurus are bad.
There is a lot of bad advice on how to grow on YouTube out there.
And I think there's a lot of advice going out there from the gurus that are actually hurting small channels.
Until I realized that the majority of these gurus are not being honest with us.
Every YouTube guru told me that I was doing everything wrong, but I ignored their advice and I hit 1 million subscribers anyways.
So a lot of YouTube gurus have been feeding you the same recycled lies for years. I definitely don't consider myself to be a YouTube guru.
You keep telling yourself that, buddy. This is a wonderful little trick. Or, at least it was for the first person who did it, but when they all do it, it kind of gives the game away. Because when you actually watch these videos, the advice that they're debunking is actually just the same advice as always, just framed in the negative instead of framed in the positive. Things not to do instead of things to do, but still the same things. Also, they fucked my video now because whatever I name this video is going to look like one of their bullshit debunking videos instead of an actual debunking video, which is, convenient for them, isn't it? They've co-opted their own criticism. We're not like those bad gurus. We're not gurus at all. We're YouTube high priests. It's totally different. Whether they're offering advice or debunking advice to offer real advice, what they're doing is the same. They are selling their credibility. Look at my fancy editing. Look at my nearly identical lighting and camera setup. Look at my silver buttons. You can trust me. I know what I'm talking about. And why are they working so hard to sell their credibility? Money! Okay, step 3, and this is the most important step. You do not want to ignore this. You have to sign up to my Flim Flam University program. I know you were expecting this. The sales pitch, here it comes, but it's true, okay? Trust me, this is not like any of those other programs. I'm not one of those YouTube gurus. I'm just a really successful YouTuber, and an agent of the devil, and an agent of the great old ones. I know what I'm talking about. And for just $500 a month, you can get access to everything that I know. I am offering a glimpse into the world between worlds, and the forbidden knowledge of Amon Gorloff. Frankly, it's a bargain. And it'll take your channel to the next level. You'll make your money back. Frankly, at this price, you're basically robbing me. vidIQ offers online coaching services for $90 a month, where you can exchange video messages with a randomly assigned coach with absolutely no guarantee of growth. Nate Black will happily talk with you personally for an hour over Zoom if you give him $1,000. Our pal Marcus Jones has an app to help you track data or some bollocks, only $3.50 a month for the first month, and then it goes up to $35. Shane Hunnessy's awfully designed website doesn't give you an upfront cost unless you agree to the free consultation call first, so, no thanks. But a little poking around online and it seems to cost around $400, and so on and so forth. Literally every single person I've shown a clip of so far has something that they're trying to sell you. Even Make Money Matt! Be it an online training course or an AI tool or cheap equipment or even just a sponsorship with any of these things, they're all trying to sell you something. Now, you may be thinking, what could these courses possibly offer that isn't already freely available on their YouTube channels? Congratulations, you're not the target audience. The reason these folks are working so hard to sell their credibility to the point of throwing each other under the bus is that they need their audience to believe that they have the secrets. Sure, their advice on YouTube is good, but if you really want to get rich quick, get lots of views and subscribers quick, then for one small time payment, you can make that happen. Of course, should you actually take that deal, you will find the exact same advice that you find on their channels, and absolutely no meaningful growth, or at the very least no sustainable growth. And even if you do, you couldn't possibly credit it to those courses for the reasons we've previously discussed. Let's introduce a new player, shall we? This is Nathan Graham, also known as Unspeakable. He's one of those insanely famous YouTubers that you've never heard of because you're not 12. He's a Minecraft YouTuber, or at least he was. At 19 million subscribers, he's successfully transitioned into one of those guys who's famous for being famous, and these days mostly does Mr. Beast shit.
That's one layer of tape, and that's a Lamborghini! We're gonna go from one layer to 1,000 layers in today's video. Amy and the boys are seeing if we can survive 99 nights in a forest. Today, my dream comes true and we're spending the night in a candy shop.
About 2 years ago, alongside his main channel, his second channel, his Let's Play channel, his React channel, and his LEGO channel, Nathan started a 6th channel for YouTube tutorials. Now this is an exciting development, isn't it? Surely this guy, who's clearly made it, he must have the secrets, right?
The next thing I would focus on, number 3, to grow my channel would be ideas.
Ideas! Of course, I always forget to have those. Along with his channel where he peddles the same nonsense as the rest of them, Nathan also has an online course, Blueprint University. Once again, you can't see the price without giving your email, so I can only assume that the cost is super reasonable, but the app at least costs $25 a month. Blueprint U is indistinguishable from all of these other courses. Same promises, same payment structure, all of it exactly the same. But the part I find interesting is this part, success stories. 4 seemingly successful YouTubers with glowing reviews of the program. But this is a big mistake on Nathan's part. There's a reason that most of these guys are smart enough to obscure the channels they've helped, because when you actually lay them out like this, I can check. Carbon Millet, oh it's $80, thanks Carbon. Carbon Millet is currently sitting at a tidy 1.6 million subscribers. His videos don't seem to get much traction, but he's mostly a shorts creator, and his shorts range anywhere from 300k to 10 million on average. That's just kind of a typical variation for shorts. They're very volatile, which is one of the many reasons I don't like them, but whatever, moving on. This looks like a clear-cut victory for Blueprint U, right? Unless we look at the dates, because who is Carbon Millet? Carbon Millet first got famous as a teenage TikTok star pulling pranks on his parents. His most famous, and the one that went so viral that several news outlets covered it as a news story, was when he painted his entire kitchen in peanut butter. This was in February of 2023. So in February of 2023, Carbon already had a sizable following on TikTok and it hit so viral it made the news. Nathan's Guru channel was created in July of 2023, and Blueprint U wasn't officially launched until 2024. So the success story here is that Blueprint U helped an already successful TikToker be successful? That's a little suspect, but let's move on for now. Jake Sweet has a whopping 12.9 million subscribers, but like Carbon, his regular videos don't do very well. Actually, that's an understatement, his regular videos rarely crack 100k and sometimes don't even crack 10k. But he's mostly a shorts guy. And I bet you already know the twist, but I'll say it anyway. Jake Sweet is a massively successful TikTok star. In fact, he was being interviewed by the BBC in 2020 for having more followers than Dua Lipa. So again, he was successful way before Blueprint U existed. Master Builders is a LEGO YouTuber with about 2.6 million subscribers. They're not a TikToker, but they have been doing this since they were a kid, and at least according to Social Blade, a site for tracking YouTube statistics, they entered 2023 with about 400,000 subscribers, and have been growing steadily since then, with the exception of a spike at the beginning of this year that took them from 1.4 million to 1.9 million. Can we give credit to Blueprint U for the spike? I suppose we cannot discount the possibility, but it does seem like this channel was highly successful long before Blueprint U existed. Also, their review mentions getting a diamond play button, which is the button YouTube sends you at 10 million subscribers, which Master Builders clearly doesn't have, so did you mix up whose reviews were who or what? Finally, we have Bart Does Art. Bart is a real odd duck here, with only 287,000 subscribers. His videos don't do that much better than me, to be honest. But he is mostly a shorts guy as well, having had some viral success this year with a series of progressively smaller drawings of Shrek. I actually happened to find the source of this review, which it turns out is a YouTube comment on one of Nathan's videos from November of last year. This gives us a pretty concrete timeline, because if we look at the Social Blade for Bart Does Art, we can clearly see a significant spike in December. So there we go, finally! 4th time's a charm, a definitive sign of the program actually helping out a creator. Except, of course, for the fact that he started December with 66,000 subscribers and started his Shrek series in July, which you can also clearly see reflected on this graph is when his channel started growing at a much faster rate than before. Just to recap that for you, Blueprint U's success stories are 2 already famous TikTokers, 1 already successful YouTuber, and 1 shorts artist who was already gaining traction. Seems, let's say, dishonest? One may even question the honesty and integrity of the entire program if this is what they're using to promote it. but I'm sure this guy would never do anything untoward. Even discounting all of that, the biggest proof that these guys don't have the secret to success is their own fucking channels. Shane Hummus has over 1 million subscribers, but the majority of his videos don't even reach 10k views. vidIQ has over 2 million subscribers and their videos average under 30k. Unspeakable has over 19 million subscribers on his main channel, but he can't even get 5,000 views on his tutorials. It gets especially embarrassing when you get deep enough down the rabbit hole to start getting recommended the gurus who aren't even doing it successfully. Like this guy who doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers. And why is that, Jack Gaisford? Is your advice that much worse than all the rest of them?
And if you're already posting content online, I'd encourage you to pause this video and go and check the last 5 videos retention rates that you've posted on social media just to see what they look like. Naturally, you're going to see more people drop off as the video goes on, but the higher the retention at the end, the more successful, in my opinion, that video has been. Number 7 is to make your videos appealing.
Oh wow, Jack, I never thought of making my videos appealing. Sure, I'll give you 1,000 fucking pounds for your coaching service. No, Jack gives the same advice in the same way with the same lighting setup and everything, and if the secrets aren't working for Jack, then why the hell should I believe that they're working for me? And now is probably the time to ask the obvious question. Is this all a big scam? Because here's what it looks like to me. It looks like these channels all upload the exact same videos with the exact same advice over and over again with the hopes that one of them will get big. When that happens, they count on that bigness to make it look like they have the secrets that people are looking for and therefore will give them money for their courses, which they populate with fake accolades to make it look more prestigious. I think we can all agree that's what it looks like. Alright, so step 4 isn't really a step, it's more a state of mind. A lot of people will tell you that getting big on YouTube is just about getting lucky. You have to kill that mindset. That mindset is for people who want to fail. You don't want to fail, you want to win. And that means not giving up. You have to work extra hard at this. You have to put in those extra hours. You have to give this 110% if you want this to be successful. But it will work, because the key to success on this platform is not luck, it's skill. And signing up to my online course. And selling your soul to the devil. But mostly skill. I know, because I have terrible luck. You should see me playing poker sometimes. But it doesn't matter, because I've got skill, and that's what's important. So, I realize this may sound completely bonkers after all of this, but I'm not entirely convinced that all of these guys are con artists. Some of them absolutely are, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I can make that broad sweeping claim about all of them. Because the scam infers that the person who's doing it is aware that they are lying. And I'm not convinced that all of these guys are aware that they're lying. Like, okay, there is a level of YouTube tutorial below what we've been talking about that truly are just total scams.
Hello moneymakers. The only niche on the entire YouTube business that can pay the highest CPM is finance.
You are in the quiz niche and not creating Guess the Logo quizzes, then you are missing out on millions of potential views and leaving a lot of money on the table.
Quiz Channel is very popular all over the world. There are so many quiz channels on YouTube that are making substantial money.
There's 13 million videos like this on YouTube, just pure AI slop garbage, teaching you how to make more pure AI slop garbage. And this is just a plain old get-rich-quick scheme. All the money there was to be made in AI quiz videos is long since dried up. So now, phase 2 of the scam is to sell the concept of the scam to a bunch of greedy, gullible assholes.
That's brilliant information. My channel will reflect some of these hints soon. I was unaware of some of the Canva features. Hard to learn it all in 45 days. Many thanks. Hope I get some growth soon.
Glasgow residents call this transport the Clockwork Orange, and you follow the U signs to get to it. What is the Underground? Or subway?
I know I made a little joke about it earlier, but I do think that the gurus that I've been talking about, the ones that actually show their face and give some good advice, are on a different level than this. YouTube is a terrible get-rich-quick scheme, and anyone who's serious about doing this knows that. People with millions of subscribers are not automatically millionaires, that's not how it works. Most people who are trying to make a career out of YouTube aren't doing it to make money, they're doing it because they have a genuine passion for it. Doesn't matter if it's a makeup vlogger, or a let's player, or a video essayist. If someone is trying to do this, it's because they enjoy doing it. And unlike with the AI get-rich-quick scams, the money isn't all dried up. You can still get big. People manage it every single day. Which makes the idea that there is something you can do to guarantee that success oh so tempting. Something the gurus will repeatedly state is that it's not about luck. They'll chafe against this point quite often.
It's certainly possible to go viral. And sure, some people might say there's a little bit of luck involved, but I would say it's like 5% luck and 95% hard work because, man, I was working hard on those videos for 3.5 years, just trying to get one to go viral. And after 570 uploads, I finally got one.
This is the statement that truly makes me question if these are con artists or not. Does the Minecraft Let's Player turned YouTube megastar think he got to where he is on the back of 95% hard work? Maybe he does. Wouldn't you prefer to believe that the guy with 19 million subscribers did something to deserve his 19 million subscribers? That it wasn't just chance and some ideal circumstances that lets this guy drive Lambos through duct tape for a living? And if he believes that, how is passing along his information possibly a scam? He found the secret to success, and he's passing that secret along to others. That's not a scam, that's altruism. And sure, he's making some money off of it, but that's capitalism. You can't do anything for free. You've got to understand the value of your own labour. And I don't know which is worse, the idea that these guys are all lying to their audiences, or that they're lying to themselves. But I suppose in the end it doesn't really matter, because the end result is the same. They are lying. Because it takes a hell of a lot more than 5% luck to make it on YouTube. One of the videos in this genre that pisses me off the most didn't come from a traditional YouTube guru. It came from Ludwig. I made a secret YouTube channel to prove it's not luck. Now to be clear, this is the first and pretty much only Ludwig video that I've ever watched, so I don't know anything about him personally, but I do hate this video. What he does in this video is he creates a new channel and then on it creates this 3-minute video essay about one of his streamer friends. He hires someone on Fiverr to do all the editing and voiceover so that no one can tell it's him. And then he donates $50 to the streamer guy to get it in front of him with the hopes that he'll watch it on stream. Which works, and does get him a fair amount of views. Therefore demonstrating that YouTube is not about luck, it's about being good and it's about being clever.
I really believe in this video. I really believe in the process that made this video, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's not millions, it's not enough to go full time, but it's a start, and it's better than 95% of YouTube videos uploaded. And all it came down to was good content, good thumbnailing, good titling, and also, admittedly, a smart way to get it in front of people who are interested in this type of content.
And also, luck. Okay, absolutely. If you donate $50 to a React streamer to get them to watch your video, there is a high chance that will result in a good amount of views. However, you may notice that I said chance, because there's an equal chance that streamer will just go meh and block you. Or there's a chance that he's in a bad mood that day and just doesn't like the video. Or there's a chance that even if he does like it, his audience thinks that it's cringe and doesn't watch it. And even if all of that works, there's still a chance that after all of this, the algorithm doesn't pick it up and it dies after 4,000 views. And even after all of that, do it again, because one successful video does not a career on YouTube make. Are you going to make a whole career out of spamming your videos in the chats of Twitch streamers? Because the more you deploy that tactic, the less valuable that tactic becomes as they get wise to your bullshit and start blocking you. This video does not in any way disprove that YouTube is about luck. All it proves is that you can successfully gamble $50 on some views for one video. And I would love to be wrong about this. I think most YouTubers would. I think most people generally would. I would love to believe that hard work pays off, that the cream always rises to the top, that at the very least there was some valuable, tangible thing I could do to successfully turn this into a career. Because luck, by its very nature, is nonsense bullshit. I don't believe in nonsense bullshit, I believe in facts and logic. Because the idea that putting your all into your videos, making them the best you can possibly make them, the idea that that doesn't affect your chances of success at all, that some fucker painting his kitchen in peanut butter will get 5 times as many views as you could ever dream of based purely on luck. That's incredibly depressing. Why would I want to believe that? And that's what the gurus prey on. They prey on that desire for a rational plan. They sell the idea that it's not luck, it's effort, because we all want to believe that. I want to believe that. I want to get out of small YouTuber hell, and I want to believe that there's some quick trick that will help me do that. And when I look in the comments of any of these videos, I see hundreds of people thinking the exact same thing. People who are not looking to get rich quick, people who want to turn their passion into a career. I've had one video do really well, my transvestigation video. It's currently creeping its way up to 80,000 views. How did this video do so well? Is it because I cracked the code? Obviously not. I haven't had any videos do nearly this well in almost a year now. Does it have a good title and thumbnail? Sure, I guess. Is it a good video? Yeah, I think so. Is it the best video I've ever made? Not really. Is it a trending and relevant topic? I guess. But even if it was any of these factors that led to its success, my ability to make the video was based on luck. I made a Star Wars Outlaws video that happened to get picked up by 4chan, and then I happened to find the 4chan thread because one of them betrayed the others. I know it's strange to describe a creepy 4chan thread as me getting lucky, but it was, and I capitalized on that luck. That was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of video. And it sucks that the success of that video was down to luck. I don't want to accept that. I want to think that it was down to my hard work and my effort. But if it was, then it wouldn't be the only big video on my channel, would it? If I knew how to do it again, then I would do it again and all of my videos would be that successful. But they're not. They're really, really not. So this doesn't come up very often on this channel, kind of something people might not know about me, but I'm quite a big fan of Star Trek. A major part of this video may or may not have been inspired by a random line from TNG.
I had the distinct impression of being in the presence of a flim-flam artist.
There's an episode of TNG from Season 2 that I've been thinking about a lot while making this. The Enterprise is going to be put through some combat drills by this guy, a real asshole, but he's the best tactician in the Federation. And in his spare time, he's also a master at this tactical board game thing where you go like this. Underrated Star Trek character Dr. Pulaski is getting pretty sick of his bullshit, so she sends in Data, the android, to challenge him, with the assumption that as an android he will wipe the floor with this guy. But he doesn't. Data loses. And this starts to send Data into an existential crisis. He did everything perfectly, and he still lost, so clearly there is some sort of flaw within him that he has to fix. This starts bothering him so much that he starts neglecting his duties until he can figure out what's going wrong, which is when Captain Picard has to come down and give him a talking to.
And Commander, it is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life.
I believe I understand, sir.
So those were the 4 key steps to growing your channel. I want you to watch this video as many times as it takes to fully internalize these ideas. Because this really is the most important video of your entire YouTube career. And if you want any more tips on how to succeed, I have many more videos just like this one. Just like this one. Just like them. Some people will get very, very pissy when you suggest that YouTube is mostly luck. But weirdly, it's not usually the successful folks, because most successful YouTubers that I've seen will also just tell you that it's luck.
Hello, my name is John Walsh, and for nearly 7 years now, I have run the YouTube channel Super Eyepatch Wolf. Here is how I did it. I have no fucking idea.
The people who get the most annoyed about this idea are the people in the comments of YouTube gurus, or people on places like r/newtubers, which is an infamous subreddit for new YouTubers. Luck is a topic that gets brought up all the time there, and it brings out some interesting responses. A lot of failing channels are blaming their failure on bad luck. I'm sorry guys, but you need to hear this. It's not luck, it's a skill issue. Luck mattered in 2010 when YouTube was just about random funny videos going viral every month. The algorithm is better now, and audiences' tastes have evolved. Bottom line is, if you make videos that people want to watch, and you make thumbs and titles that those same people want to click, then the algorithm will get your videos to that audience. If it's not happening for you, don't blame it on luck. Take accountability for yourself and figure out what you're doing wrong. There's this attitude that blaming luck is just cope, that you just haven't gotten good enough. And I think that's a very revealing sort of argument. Your videos are failing because your videos aren't good, not like mine. Mine are good, and that's why I'm going to make it. I am going to make it. I am. Just FYI, the creator of this thread didn't share their own channel and got very pissy in the comments when people asked about it. One can only speculate as to why. Maybe you've made it this far into the video and you still agree with Peeves4411. This video is crap and I'm not working hard enough. And if that's the case, well done, commitment to the bit, watching a 40+ minute video that you hate just to make a point. But even ignoring myself, I know a ton of incredibly talented small creators who deserve to hit it big. I'm working on a project with a bunch of them right now. But it is possible to make great content and still lose. You remember those stats I gave before about 2.4 million videos being uploaded to YouTube every day? Not all of those people are trying to be YouTubers. But a lot of them are, and statistically speaking, most of them are going to fail. Which begs the question, why am I still trying? I have a lovely audience who says very nice things about me, and even some folks who are so kind as to send me money each month. But I am under no illusions, I am failing at this. I'm at a net loss every month. So with me knowing that, and me knowing that there is no easy path to success, why do I keep trying anyway? Because I love doing it, because I enjoy the process, because it creatively fulfills me like nothing else I've ever done. That's why I want to make it work. That's why the high probability of failure doesn't actually stop me. I'm a dreamer. I'm in a very privileged position where I'm able to do that, and that privilege has limits that I'm pushing. Because the day that I have to give this up for good will be an extremely sad day. It's not that I don't care about the numbers, of course I care about the numbers. I want my videos to do better so that I can keep making them. When a video does badly, it does upset me, because a video doing badly does not represent at all the amount of work that went into making it. But after a day or two of moping, I'm already hard at work on the next script, because failure and bad odds could never stop me from doing this. In a way, I'm glad the gurus are full of shit, because their advice would take away from what I enjoy about what I do. If I really did have to narrow my focus to a niche, if I really did have to follow trends, if I really did have to experiment with different kinds of videos until I find something that works, if I really did have to give them lots of money, that would suck. You want my advice? The advice of a failure? Do whatever the fuck you want. There are no rules. Views across huge swaths of YouTube are down right now and nobody really has a clear answer as to why, especially not any of these guys. Because YouTube is an unpredictable mess and any sane person would not choose it as a career. So do it anyway. You'll probably fail, but at least you'll be failing at doing something you love. And I, for one, would rather aim for the stars and miss than never leave the ground at all. Now if you'll excuse me, I have some editing to do. Hey, this is the part where I plug my patrons at the end of the video, which might seem a little bit rich since I ripped into the gurus for asking for money. But to be fair, I wouldn't have done that if their services actually worked. I was serious about this being my dream, and I was serious about currently failing at it. So if you would like to help, then a couple dollars a month on Patreon would make a huge difference to me. It really would. Like some of these fine people are already doing. Thank you very much. So if you would like to do that, the link should be on the screen round about now, as well as some links to some other videos. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again soon.